When you hear that real estate is one of the best ways to build wealth, what do you picture? For many people, they think of buying a house or a plot of land, and then the value of that land goes up, and suddenly they're richer. But then here's the truth. Just because your property has appreciated in value on paper doesn't mean that you can instantly spend that money. Real estate doesn't work like money in your Momo wallet. So, how does it really build wealth? Let's get into it. Generally, properties appreciate in value. So if you bought land for a certain amount over time, the price of that land will go up. Now, in prime locations, that increase in value can be in multiples. So let's say you bought land in East Legon Hills for about 100,000 Ghana cedis 10 years back. Today, that same land may be worth a million Ghana cedis or even more. And that is powerful growth. But then here's the catch. That 900,000 Ghana cedi gain is not money in your pocket until you sell the land or maybe do something else like borrowing against the land. And by that, you're using the land as a collateral. Until then, what you have is locked up value, which we call equity. So appreciation is real, but then it's long term and it only pays you when you decide to cash out. The more immediate way real estate can grow your wealth is through rental income. Now think about it. Let's say you own a one-bedroom apartment in Cantonments worth about 2 million Ghana cedis. Now, if you rent out that apartment for about 25,000 Ghana cedis a month, that's about 300,000 Ghana cedis a year in your bank account. But then really when you take out things like the usual costs, let's say service charge, maintenance, management fees and all that, you will still have over 200,000 cedis in the bank. But remember, this amount is based on the assumption that your apartment is rented out through the year. And of course, I know it sounds very expensive, 25,000 Ghana cedis a month for an apartment. But then when you do the conversion, that's about $2,000 a month. And these are the prevailing prices in the market when you go to high profile locations like Cantonment, Airport Residential, and even East Legon. So you see that smart investors in Ghana, especially those buying apartments for short-term rentals like Airbnb, end up focusing on properties that can generate cash flow also while appreciating in value over time. And in that case, it's a double win. You get your appreciation in value over time, and you also get some income coming through in the form of rentals. Another way property builds wealth is through leverage. Now, unlike most assets, real estate can be used as collateral. So your land or your house can help you secure financing or a loan for your business. It could be for construction or even you acquiring more properties. Now, it's one of the few investments that banks in Ghana actually recognize and also trust. So even if you're not selling your property, that property can open doors to more opportunities for you. In all honesty, I think many of us struggle with saving and doing it consistently. Because when you look at it, real estate forces you to build wealth in chunks. And if you're paying off your land or your property in installments, or maybe you're using a mortgage, every payment you make increases your equity or your stake in that property. And that property, as we know it, is a very tangible asset. Now, it's like a savings plan that you can't easily eat into. And unlike savings that can disappear with one emergency, a property will tie your money down and grows it at the same time. So you have the potential money, which won't go away anytime soon, but then it will also always be there when you need it. Beyond money in your account, real estate also helps you to build something much bigger, your legacy. Now, your house, your land, I mean, they won't just disappear into thin air when you're not around. You can pass them on to your children, and maybe they can pass them on to their children. And even if you never sell or rent out the property, you still transfer real wealth to the next generation. So you see that real estate serves as a very excellent medium to transfer generational wealth. But then always be minded that handing down a property that is not well taken care of will not give you the intended result, because in the end, if your property falls apart, its value will go down. But then you keeping it in good shape will also keep its value for a longer time. Here in Ghana, where family land disputes happen so often, Holding clear documented property can secure your family's future in a way that very few investments actually can. Beyond what we've looked at so far, there are other ways real estate helps you build wealth. We can look at how property protects you from the effects of inflation. Now, generally, property prices tend to rise with inflation in a sense that while your money in the bank is losing value, your real estate will often keep up with inflation. So you don't lose value, and in that case, you also don't lose money. Now, money that is not lost, it's yours to keep and, of course, use. And that is money in your pocket. Last but not least, we can also look at real estate as a way to diversify your wealth. Now, for many people who are relying heavily on businesses or maybe their salaries, real estate can balance your portfolio and your income streams with a very stable, tangible asset. Now, while real estate helps you build your wealth, not everybody who buys property gets wealthy or will get wealthy. Some people may overpay for land in locations that don't appreciate very fast, and others may buy apartments that will sit empty because the rental prices are very high and demand is weak. And I see this happening quite often. When you go to some of the prime locations, you see a lot of apartments empty because, rental is really high and not a lot of people who need it can afford it. Let's not forget the issue of liquidity. Now, real estate is not like selling shares in a company. It's not something you can just quickly sell off. And if you need cash urgently, you can't always quickly just sell off your property and then you get your cash. Selling a property is a very hard thing to do because you need to market that property for as many people to see it as possible. And out of those who see that property, only a handful may be able to afford it. And even that, only a smaller number beyond that handful will actually like the design of the property, the current state of the property, the location, and everything else about the property that will convince that person to make an offer. And so you quickly see that property agents, for instance, do a lot of work to get a property sold. And that explains why the commissions are not mere handouts. So you see that when it comes to selling a property, in many cases, the property may stay on the market for a very long time before you get to sell it. And this is one of the things that many people are not aware of. Those who are interested in investing, they always think that once you have the property, you can just flip it and then make some quick cash. But then really, real estate is not about quick money. It's about playing the long game. So yes, you can build wealth with real estate, but then only when you do it wisely. So as always, get the knowledge you need, add understanding, and then bundle them up together to get wisdom to make the right moves. So to tie everything together, how does real estate build wealth, especially in Ghana? Well, it's appreciation over time, it's steady rental income, it's leverage for more opportunities, it's forced savings that discipline you, and also it's legacy that you can pass on. But then here's a key lesson. Appreciation alone is not cash. The wealth building power of real estate comes when you combine the growth in value with strategies that put actual money in your pocket. And whether that's rent or refinancing or building on what you've already owned, whichever way, that is how you get to earn more on your property. That is how you move from just owning property to actually building wealth. I'm Desmond Kafui, and this is Ghana Ground Up. I believe you got some value out of today's episode. So do well to subscribe to the channel for more like this. And of course, share and like, and let's keep the conversations going in the comments. Share your thoughts and let's grow together from the ground up. I'll catch you in the next episode.